Now, before I go in depth and tell y'all about the genius of Goat Piece and why y'all should watch it, let me tell y'all about my first experience. Now, I was a kid, and it was one long summer night, and I was just flipping through the channels. I ended up running across One Piece and its rubbery protagonist, Luffy. And after watching about like 5 minutes of it, I thought to myself, this show is bizarre, and it's ridiculous looking, and I'm never gonna watch it. And I just wrote it off. Fast forward a couple years from childhood to young adulthood, and I catch my older brother watching the climax of one of the beginning arcs. And as I began watching what I thought was just some wacky looking cartoon, I began to understand its appeal. As I began to slowly get invested and get sucked into Luffy just whooping ass and liberating those who weren't strong enough to do so themselves. Now, in our world today, it isn't uncommon to feel like we are helpless and at the mercy of the world around us. It can feel like those in power have seemingly created these strings that we dance on daily, essentially deciding what we think, feel, and even put into our body. For many, the thought of speaking out is met with resistance and fear, because if even those we've grown to look up to can wither away and crumble on their journeys to accomplishing their dreams, then what good is it if I try? And what's the point? These were questions I had struggled to find the answer to for a long time, but thanks to the brilliant work of Ichiro Oda, it's become quite clear on how I would like to live the rest of my life. Now, when looking at One Piece critics, oftentimes they'll fall into usually two groups. Either they'll be like my younger self and just write it off because it's quite bizarre looking, as you run into characters looking like this, and this. But in defense of my boy Oda, I think he's kind of onto something, as people really do just be walking around looking like this in 2023. No. Let's be serious now. Let's give him some leeway. I mean, he's kind of, in my defense, I think he's kind of onto something. I think he's kind of realistic in a way. You know what I mean? I don't know. I like it. I like it. It grows on you. People be looking ridiculous nowadays on TikTok, so is it really that wild? Is it really that wild now? The second and most common critique of One Piece is its length, as it was started in 1997, which is like 26 years ago, and it's still going strong to this day. Many people just think that's too long, that's too much. But as any other true One Piece fan will tell you, the day One Piece ends is the day we say it wasn't long enough. We want more, because this is where the genius of One Piece lies. You see, its length allows time for the author to cook up and build a world filled with tons of different settings and characters that you want to know more about. And he's able to do all this while setting up amazing callbacks and foreshadowings that you never expect coming. Every wildly different island you visit along the journey feels important. All this while tackling serious themes like racism, slavery, religion, corruption, politics, mental health, and a whole lot more. And he's still able to make it feel light and fun. It's something short of spectacular, as there is no other story that's quite able to handle and tackle themes like tragedy, as well as be so humorous and fun and comedic. I think it is one of the greatest stories to ever be told, and we're lucky enough to be alive while it is still being written. And I think that phenomenon right there is honestly a reason to watch One Piece itself right there. But if that isn't enough for you, let me tell you a little bit more. Now, we experience this whole world through the lens of our main character, Monkey D. Luffy, who is our fun-loving, freedom-chasing, meat-eating airhead of a captain. And we watch him as he sets out on this journey to chase this seemingly impossible task of becoming the Pirate King. and finding the One Piece and whatever that is. Now, what made Luffy stand out to me was his whimsical demeanor and his nonchalant ways of leading his crew and chasing his dreams. You see, as Luffy assembles his crew, we can see that even though he wishes to essentially rise to the pinnacle of the world he's placed in, the way he acts so carefree and nonchalant can seemingly contradict his dreams at times. Or so you would think. Luffy time and time again places his faith into those he deems as being a good person. And to him, a good person is someone who's willing to give up things they care about, even if it means giving up their dreams in order to do what's right. This is the determining factor, whether if someone joins the crew or not. Never does he care or nor ask about their past, or care whether others deem them as bad people, as Luffy is a man who lives in the moment, welcoming with open hands those thought of by the world as inferior, monsters, demons, worthless, liars, and thieves, because he understands that good people can be found in all walks of life. This approach to life is seemingly fading away in the world of One Piece, as well as the world we live in today. Too often, people band together out of a selfish thirst for power and wealth. People are seemingly so willing to sell out and do whatever it takes to gain social status and power, even if it means sacrificing their morals, honor, or even their dignity. Heck, some even are willing to sacrifice those that they care about, because they'll do whatever it takes to get to the top, and oftentimes they do. But in comes Luffy, innocently choosing those off the content of his character, needing no justification if they're worthy of his time, because if he deems them to be a genuinely good person, then that's all the justification he'll ever need to do right by them, and give his all, even if it costs him his life or his dream in the process. You see, One Piece encapsulates what it is to have a dream and the long process it can take to make that dream turn into reality. We've come to learn that despite the most tragic of pasts, whether you lost a loved one, were oppressed, taken advantage of, outcasted, thought of as worthless, or simply lacked the courage, as long as you continue to step into the light that is your future, you'll surely bounce back from that dark past and arrive at the dawn of your dreams. Like many of the characters in One Piece, I too had let the story of my past and others around me dictate what it is I thought I was capable of. As a kid, I once had these grand dreams and never thought to care what others thought of me. But slowly, over time, I let the world put me into a box, telling myself I wasn't special enough to be like those I once looked up to as a kid. Like the Straw Hats, it wasn't until I faced heartbreak and tragedy that I finally wanted to break out of that box. The thought of letting those down who had placed their faith and belief into me inspired me to break out of that box I once lived in. No longer did I want to play this life safe. Even if it meant facing my fears with the love and support of those I called my friends and family, it didn't matter what the outside world said, nor did, as I was going to chase my dreams and make a living by just being myself, making videos. Consciously, I've been working towards this dream for about 3 years now, and this is my first video. This is just the beginning, and this is my declaration to my dreams. It's been filled with plenty of ups and downs and miracles and tragedies. It hasn't been easy, but thanks to the story of One Piece, I no longer waver at the thought of chasing my dream. Because it's in these moments of hardship where dreams turn into reality. Thank you for watching and sitting through this. If you did, you should definitely go check out One Piece. And if you have checked out One Piece, go and spread this if you vibed with it. I'm here to make more, and this is just the beginning. Thank you guys.
Lotus blossom don't cry.